So today I want to show my I'm gonna show my totem warrior. So to cast my totem I'm using 2+4 maces. And on switch I decided to go with a rattling scepter, but any sort of scepter is okay. Probably the one with discipline is the best, because the warriors are level 3 and they just die instantly. But anyway, I use this only for the spirit. And actually, I need the intelligence there a bit. And of course, if there was more mana and mana regen would be better, but why bother? And I'm using a shield on switch also. So you can notice that I try to have chaos resist everywhere. And I'm using the ascendancy to give me a bunch of resist from the smite of Kitava. Yeah, basically the elm has life and chaos resist, that's it. The shield, life, chaos resist. The boots, I've got some life and movement, a bit of resist. Again, I'm using 2 rings with chaos resist. This one has life and a bit of intelligence. This one, intelligence, a bit of life, and a bunch of lightning resist. And I'm using also a +2 to melee skill here. And all the other stats are really sort of crap. The critical damage bonus is not even used because I use a keystone that disabled the critical. And the mana is sort of nice and the mana regen, but it's really just there for the melee skill. A bit like these love, which have also +2 to melee skills, but I was lucky to find this for cheap, and yeah, I've got some intelligence, cold resist, and life. They're pretty good actually. The belt is a bit of resist and a bunch of life. The mana is sort of nice, but it's not really useful. And for the charm, you can see that I have freeze there, but honestly, I just it never triggers. I never get frozen now, and I put bleed there because I don't like to die to stupid bleed damage. But so far, I don't even know if it triggers. So the charm is sort of I don't know. And the way I play never gets done. So I'll show right away the skill I'm using. So yeah, the skeleton warrior is from the scepter. Raise shield, I don't use it. Mace strike, I used it a lot to level, but now I switch completely to the totem, so I'm not using it anymore. So now the auras, and the aura are not, I mean, they're okay, but it's not that great in general. Yeah, aura in Path of Exile 1 were a lot better than in Path of Exile 2, but still it's like a resource that you can use, so why not? Overwhelming presence. It helps with some burning damage I've got on one of my attacks. And yeah, you can stun bosses a bit more because of this aura. Otherwise, clarity is there to get more mana. And using the scepter, I decided to go to blasphemy with enough intelligence, and this is the minimum gem you can get, so you need 61 intelligence. But the result is that you can use enfeeble, and in hardcore it's really nice, because as you can see, you take less damage. So yeah, and to have a even though you don't see the circle going it's not bigger when you put the support, but the 30% is really there. You just don't see it. Well, when there's enemy, you're gonna sort of notice that it's bigger because they're gonna get cursed from farther. And I'm not sure the 30% if it's 30% to the radius, but if it's 30% to the radius, it's a lot more than 30% area. But I don't know how it's calculated. Anyway, so scavenging plating is used because instead of shield blocking with raised shield, I use resonating shield, which is basically a shield block, but it's sort of enhanced a bit. And the thing is that resonating shield destroys the armor, so this is going to trigger scavenging plate. And the Thorn is crap. No, it's like maybe early it does something, but it's really there for the 4% more armor, which is going to give you like 40%. Typically, if you're against a boss that really jumps on you and you're left with the only solution to simply block. So you're gonna block anyway. So with scavenging plating, you're gonna get more armor, which is nice. And yeah, cannibalism. Allegedly, this works when your totem kills stuff. So I'm using it. And vitality is more regen. Oh shit. Wow, I'm just gonna treat this. Why not? That's like a half an exalt. And as I was saying, just a second, this thing. Okay. Don't bother me, man. Yeah, okay, so regen and life. Time of need is probably the weakest of the auras I've got there, and I just decided to add it because at first I was using yeah, you can actually add another skeleton and reserve 33 spirit, but it's, yeah, the skeleton, somebody sneezes at them and they die, so I mean, they've got no HP, it's really ridiculous. And they get out summon and they summon like, I don't know, a minute later, so it's total garbage. So having 3 instead of 2 doesn't change anything. But time of need sort of does something. I mean, if you get cursed for a little short while, you're gonna, yeah, it's gonna remove the curse and some ailments. It's really garbage, honestly. And support is fast forward, so the 10 second is actually like 7 seconds or something like that. But yeah, time of need is really not needed, but I didn't know what to do with my remaining points. So. Orb of Storm is, yeah, let me see. Yeah, when you're in this thing, and I put persistence on it because it's gonna stay on like longer, and you get Fount of Blood, so more regen. And for the allies, I don't know, the totems seems to never die, but they run out of time before dying. Maybe at certain boss it's might be helpful, but so far it's not been. Didn't notice it. It's really for myself. And yeah, Fount of Mana, more regen again. So it's like a little click, you stay there and you get some more regen. And if I check my regen, yeah, when I'm outside I'm at 300 per second, and inside I'm at 400, so it's not that bad. What else? Yeah, resonating shield, as I said earlier. And this thing, you need to level it up. Each time you level it up, you're gonna eat more armor, and I mean a lot more armor. I don't think it's linear. It really it's more and more. Each level you get like a big improvement. Unbreakable, because when you block, at some point you're gonna get stunned, and this just pushed the thing further. And I never get stunned. But at some point you can't just sit there and block and do nothing. You block and you try to throw in like a totem, and then you continue blocking. But so far the unbreakable is pretty useful, because at some point I tried to remove it and I got stunned. So yeah, use that. Demolisher, you're just gonna break the armor quicker. Break posture is gonna daze when you break completely, so it's mostly for the bosses. And I read a bit about daze, and like the bosses are not gonna cast some stuff, and they become a bit stupid, but they still attack though, so it's not that big of a deal. Maybe you could put a gem there for like damage as life, like a life leech, could be an idea. But so far I put this there because my goal is to be able to kill the ultimatum bosses, and the ultimatum bosses are really damage check, and if you can stun or daze them, it gives you more time to kill them, so that's why I use that. Shield charge early, it was my main damage actually. It's really good, but now the damage is crap because it doesn't go linear, and my shield doesn't have a lot of armor, and the damage is based on the armor. But yeah, I completely gave up on trying to have a better shield, because the totems just do so much more damage. It doesn't compare to shield charge, but still you can kill stuff with shield charge. So sometime I'm gonna kill stuff, and I put life tab there because if I get in trouble, like I don't have mana, I get surrounded, I'm blocking, but I'm just gonna die, or I don't even want to block because there's too much heat coming in. So you want to charge backward and just run away like a chicken, and you don't want to bother with mana there. You just want to get the fuck out, and this is why I put life tab there. Anyway, I had an empty socket from using it earlier as a damage. Yes, stomping ground is there for the damage, and I left it there, but could be changed, like maybe the life leech thing. But I left it there because I'm using soul thieves, so I'm gonna leech some mana. Because as you'll see when I show the build later, yeah, the mana really goes down, and sometimes just leeching a bit of mana is gonna be nice to be able to cast another totem without drinking a mana potion. And now we're at the main damage, so these two. And I just want to say that earlier I was using the shockwave totem, but it becomes crap. Well, it's crap compared to the ancestral warrior. It's like that. Even if you've got like both R3 sockets, the warrior just does way more damage. And I've got two setups. So I've got one for well, let me explain. Sounder is generally way better, especially in the maps. But if you get to face a boss that's really close, and he's close to you, and you just want to go with the maximum damage, and the boss doesn't move around, then Rolling Slam is better. Because there's some stun action going there, and the damage is big. It's bigger. Simply put it that way. But generally, Sounder is way better, because this This is only a small area of damage because, and yes, Thunder really covers a lot of ground. So I put the tempo there for more attack speed. And yeah, just lightning infusion, it has 25% damage. And I was lucky to corrupt this one. And as I said, this one is for tough bosses. So if I run to a tough boss, I want the maximum damage. That's why I'm using my 4 sockets Ancestral Warrior there instead of putting it on the other one. Because in a worst case scenario, I want to do the most damage I can. So yeah, so Rolling Slam there, execute. And if I had more decks, I could put something else. But that's what I'm using. The Fire Infusion. So there's some burning there and a bit of giving a little more breathe to the overwhelming presence. And the last one is Eft for a bit more damage. And it's like 15% more damage in average. Well, it depends on the damage of the... yeah, it's a bit less than 15% actually. Yeah, the gems are a bit crap. Maybe I need to check for a better one. And what I wanted to use was the one that generates jagged ground, but it seems that like it doesn't work. I didn't see the graphic of yeah, jagged ground, so I just gave up on this thing because I had some nice interaction. Oh, what's the stupid button? Yeah, there you had like more bleed if it's on jagged ground, and yeah, more damage if it's on jagged ground. But the jagged ground didn't seem to trigger, so I just gave up on that thing. So yeah, I'll start with the Ascendancy actually, and a lot of people go for these 2 nodes. So you got 15% resist, fire resist there, and then the fire resist at 50% of the value is applied to the other 2 elements. But thing is that early I wanted like a big bonus right away, so I just went with, I think I took lightning and fire, because in Act 2 and Act 3, that's the most important stuff. So what I needed to do with my gear was look for cold and chaos afterward. But after the second Ascendancy, yeah, I just switched to added cold there and more life, because I think that's the best bonus. And the next points I'm gonna get if I don't rip, probably gonna get more strength. And probably, yeah, the way I see it, you've got more strength, which is an option. Then there's this, which is basically sort of more life too. And then the other option is regen. But at this point, what I'm afraid is I'm not afraid of not regenerating enough. I'm afraid of just dying to a one shot. And yeah, this and more strength is going to give you more life, and this is going to basically give you like 75% times 25%, which is about let me calculate that in my head. Well, fuck off. It's about 20% anyway. So yeah, that's probably what I'm going to take, this and the more strength. Oh yeah, also I just upgraded my my armor, and you got like 2% regen there, so that's a lot. And yeah, you can see the end result there. You've got 3 resist and more life. And of course I added socket for more life, some cold resist and the regen. But for a long while I was using the soldier plate, which has a bit more, I've got, this thing. And before that I was using like a 250 and for leveling, you can see my old ones. And just a general tip, try to keep an eye for a normal armor instead of having to use crap like this and this thing. I actually used all of those. Yeah, this one is okay with a lot of armor, but this and this was garbage, and I was still using it in cruel. And even this one, because I didn't have anything to add sockets to, so I had this thing, and in Act 3 I actually corrupted it and got another socket, so it's pretty funny. It's really crap. Okay, so what I did was I go for melee damage. You just go for all the damage that you can get. And attack speed is actually damage, so it's the same thing. It's more attack speed, more damage. And then you can go, but I think at start I went like this, and then I go for resolute technique. And this way you don't have to bother with attack rating. You've got some melee damage there, and later you can grab these for more strength, which is again more life, and of course the 3%, which is actually pretty big when you add it. Also, all these nodes, you get like 8 per Ds and 25 strength, and again, all of this is just for life and for the strength to lift the moles. Yeah, more life and a bit more armor against crits, which is, I mean, it's neat. This is, it's sort of crap. But jewels in general are crap, at least in hardcore, from what I saw. And this one, I mean, I dropped it and I decided to use it. So more life, and unfortunately you lose some mana. And yeah, these nodes are sort of annoying. A bit of bleed there, which is damage. Okay, oh man. Yeah, I'm just gonna do this trade if the dude wants it. I don't know where it is. Yeah, he doesn't even want it. Go fuck yourself, bitch. Yeah, again, more attack speed, which is more damage. And the dex there is nice. Here, attack speed again. Yeah, some dex, some nice bonus for defense. And here you've got the bleed stuff. So then in red I've got for my, when I'm dual wielding the maces, and this is how I cast the totems. So, and I usually like to have more placement speed, but yeah, I don't have a lot, but I mean, anyway, the mana is so crap that you run into a mana problem before you, well, it's a struggle. It's part of the game. Yeah, so there you had some damage and some placement speed. Here you've got another totem. The +1 is really important, of course. And then just some damage, attack speed, so damage. Here we've got the second totem, and totem damage, a bit of placement speed. And you can see that I don't even bother with the totem life. Like I said, they don't die, so maybe later in like in later maps they're gonna die, but So far, it's not been a problem. And when I switched to the scepter, I went for all region stuff. So yeah, here you got a bunch of life through the strength, some strength intelligence. Oh, Chris the calf. Wait a second. Chris, tu viens-tu avec ça? Yeah, he's a bit stupid. Dumbass. I don't know why he's buying this. I don't even know why I listed it. Doesn't even seem good. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why he bought that. I was pretty lucky to not even sell it before to the vendor. Yeah, so I went there for and I grabbed some mana regen also, which is maybe an error. Maybe I should grab even more regen there. Yeah, I don't know. I went for the mana regen. At some point I was running into mana issue, but I don't want to fiddle with it now. Yeah, so it's all life regen. So that's it for the tree. It's actually pretty simple when you think about it. You go for damage, you go for regen. That's pretty much it. It's that simple. Damage and attack speed, and you grab strength everywhere. Ah, yeah, and this node is pretty important. So with this node, you can use two dual enders, but the strength required is multiplied by 3. So that's how you use. And you can see that I've got like 323 strength, which is almost. Wait a second. Okay, on Switch I've got more strength. Yeah, that's how I lift the maces. And I added more strength, which is actually life, to the maces. And all the other stats are useless. So it's basically, see this as a 4 melee skill and more strength. And of course you can go and grab like a +6, or I think there's even +7, but the price really goes up